Salam everyone, how's everyone doing? Hope everyone is well. Now this is going to be quite a slight different video. Obviously the last few videos have been more about dog breeds, but today's video we're going to be talking about dogs that are for sale. Now some of you may know, not all of you, but some of you may know that I am in the process of selling my dogs. And for those asking, it is a personal matter and I don't want to be discussing it to be honest. So I hope you all understand that. Now I've tried my best to work around it as well, trying to keep the dogs, but unfortunately it's just not possible, at least for the foreseeable future. So therefore there's a lot of amazing dogs that are currently available to you all. Now one thing that you all need to realise is I've spent a crazy amount of money importing these dogs over from Turkey and Russia, and not just financially. I've spent a lot of time finding and picking out the right dogs, speaking to different shepherds, trying to haggle prices and so forth. It's a lot more difficult than what people realise, and this process started off around 6 to 7 years ago, and it finally came into fruition a few years back. And now, with the current circumstances, it's not what I expected, but it is what it is. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to showcase what dogs are available. I'm going to talk a little bit about them, and if you're interested in perhaps purchasing them and you think they fit your lifestyle, just comment down below, message me on my social pages as well, which are in the description, or just drop me an email. So yeah, I hope you like the video, and yeah. So let's first talk about Destin. Now firstly, his name translates from Turkish to English to epic. Now seriously, this dog is actually epic, I'm not even gonna lie. Now let's talk about the origin. Now he spent around 2.3 years of his life in Turkey working alongside a small group of Kangals and Anatolian dogs, protecting a herd of around 800 to 900 that consisted of sheep, goats and some horses as well. Now there is footage of him on a male boar with his packmate. Now the shepherd has told me that he was nicknamed the Nightmare of the Wolves in the mountains. Now he's also said that he's been on many chases, whether it's chasing a wolf, whether it's chasing other predators, and he's come back a few days later with scars, etc. So he has seen a lot of things. You can tell it in his, from looking at his eyes. There's been altercations with other dogs as well. There's videos, I'll put these videos up, where you can see he's going up to a group of dogs. Obviously sometimes what happens is these dogs understand each other, they walk off. Sometimes they'll get into a bit of a scuffle. So Destin's been through it all. Now fast forward 2 years, which is current day. Obviously he's with me now, so he's touching around just over 4 years old. And to be fair, he's just started his prime. Up until now he's been like a maturing pup and a teenager. Now he's become an adult. Now he's produced a lot of quality dogs as well in Turkey. He's had one litter here with Sultana, which has produced very good dogs. I've had a lot of people ask me about him. Many people saying yeah, they'll buy him, but when I've asked them about where he's going to stay, etc., I've not liked it whatsoever, the environment, etc. So if anyone is interested in purchasing Destin, just remember that this dog requires space, livestock to protect, anything that's going to simulate an environment like that of which in Turkey. And I personally think he's one of the best examples of the Kangal. And when you look at him, he's not the modern type. There's a lot of modern type Kangals that you see nowadays that look pretty and everything, but don't do the job and don't have strong characters. When you look at Destin, even, you'll look at him and you'll be like, this is a true original Kangal. If you go back like so many years and you look at Kangal photos, you'll see that Destin has good resemblance to these. He's very aboriginal in appearance. So yeah, but wherever he goes, just remember this: wherever he goes, he will likely take charge. He's that sort of dog. He's he's the alpha. He's always going to be an alpha wherever he goes. So just keep that in mind. Now moving on to the slightly younger male, Talas. Now this male came over quite early to the UK at around a year old, and since then he's been with me. He's currently around 3.5 years old. And what's very unique about him is that he carries a gene that's very unique to him, and that is the blood of Kurtbagan Talas, who's a very famous wolf killer. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share some photos of his family lineage to show you the level at which this dog is. Now Talas himself, he didn't grow up with livestock, so isn't great with them. Obviously, if you gave him the right amount of training, he'll learn to protect them. You know, his litter mates that are in Turkey at the moment, they get on fine with livestock. His family gets on with livestock. It's just a personal thing about him. Now, he's produced one litter here in the UK that was with an Anatolian mix. They get on with livestock as well. So it's just with Talas. It's just because he hasn't been raised with them. But one thing you need to realise about Talas, he's probably the most athletic male Kangal I've ever seen. You know, his movement is crisp, his speed is very explosive, and his confidence is sky high. He'll go to any dog, he'll posture up with them. Doesn't matter what, if the dog's barking, if it's very aggressive, he has an aggressive presence, he'll come up to him no matter what. He has it all, and in my personal opinion, I believe that if he had spent the same amount of time as Destin in Turkey, you know, the same amount of years, you know, was around that same sort of terrain, climate, etc., I think possibly he would have been the alpha at my pack. I would have probably took over Destin. That's my personal opinion. He's just got that, there's something about him. Now, Talas is very sociable with males and females. You know, if a male causes him trouble, he'll look the other way at first, which is a good shepherd dog characteristic. Now, if, for example, that dog attacks, the first thing Talas is going to do is going to try giving him a bit of dominance, just tell him off a bit. And obviously, if that doesn't work, then obviously it'll escalate to something even further. So, yeah. And one thing that if anyone is taking him, if you were to breed him to a quality female, because like I said, he's been bred to an Anatolian mix, and you can tell his genes very strong, like the movement in the pups and everything, they're very good. So I do believe if you match him with a purebred, a quality female, he'll produce excellent puppies, and I think they'll probably be some of the best dogs out there at the market currently. Now we move on to my Central Asian Shepherd male, Sargon. Now Sargon is slightly younger than Talas, at around 2.8 to 3 years old. Now he's a modern Central Asian Shepherd. His father's side is mostly modern type. His mother's side is predominantly combat line. Now the reason why I purchased him was due to the pairing. Now if you look at the father, he's huge. You look at the mother, she's small, compact, and I really like the mother's pedigree as well. She fit well into what I needed at the time. So if you look at Sargon, he's mostly got Turkmenistan blood and a lot of Kazakhstan blood as well within him. Now me personally, I've nicknamed him Robot. Now the reason why I've nicknamed him Robot is whenever he gets into a scuffle, obviously having so many dogs, these dogs do get into scuffles every now and then. And one thing I noticed about Sargon, he doesn't stop, he doesn't whine, he just wants to continue, he doesn't feel any pain or anything, so that's why I call him Robot. He's like a machine, which is both good and bad, you could say. But in general, his character is loving, he's very affectionate to the owner, he respects them very well. You know, if he gets told off, he listens. You know, he is very sociable with dogs as well. You know, dogs younger than him, puppies, you know, females as well. But he'll obviously have a problem with if you have a male, or like a male the same age, or a male older. You know, then there'll definitely be problems. And in terms of his guarding aspect, he's actually quite a good guard, to be fair, and he will protect you. I've had him myself, I've had a few people try, you know, breaking in, etc., and he has done his job. Obviously I don't disclose everything with all you guys, you know, some things I keep private, but let's just say Sargon knows what he's doing. Now moving on to my females. Now let's firstly talk about Sultana. Now, you know, if you look at Sultana, both in my eyes and for anyone that sees her in person, says that she's the most beautiful dog that they have ever come across. You know, she has everything. You know, she was imported from Turkey at around 8 months of age and spent the last few years with me. She's around 2.5 years old. Now, when getting imported over, I had a few judges that were in, you know, like in charge of the, you know, the show where Zorro became world champion. So these guys know what they're looking for. They went over and they evaluated her just to see if she was okay or not for me. And they all said to me that you are lucky to have her. She's the best female that they have ever seen. You know, if you do take her to the show, she's guaranteed to win. And obviously this wasn't my goal, and still isn't, you know, to take a dog to a show. It's just not what I'm interested in. But anyone that is, like, you know, looking to, you know, to go to a show or whatever, then this is a good opportunity for you to take a female like this, because I'm guaranteeing that, you know, you'll win. Now in terms of her character, she's very sweet. She's very, very sweet. She's smart and observant on their surroundings. You know, she's very protective. You know, she's great with livestock and will protect them at all costs. Now her movement and structure remind me of a cheetah. You know, she's very nimble and fast paced. She's got long legs. You know, she knows how to pivot well. She's great. Honestly, she's great. Now I've only bred her once to Destin. You know, she hasn't been bred before. It's just a one-time breeding I did with Destin. Now what I was gonna do if I was to keep her was I was gonna breed Talas to her next, because I think if she was to breed to Talas, I think you will get the most functional Kangal dogs out there, especially in the Western market. Now throughout my pack as well, she's the alpha female at my place. But one thing that I do like about her, she doesn't cause any problems. You know, she's a very sociable dog with both males and females. She will only attack if reacted defensively, meaning she'll never be the first to attack. She's not like that, which is great. So if I was to sell her, which I am, she'll most likely suit a more domesticated home or even a farm property. She's good with guards. She's good at living a domesticated lifestyle as well, because at the time she was living a domesticated lifestyle when she got brought over, and she was fine. So yeah, you really can't go wrong with this female. And lastly, we can speak about Gujji. Now the main highlight about her is that she has a real footage of her and her two sisters on a live wolf, with Gujji being the one to finally kill the wolf by the neck. Now many people in Turkey, you know, say their dogs are wolf killers. They'll post a dead wolf next to their Kangal dog. You know, you'll realise that the wolf's been shot or something, and they're just doing it for, you know, advertisement's sake. But you know, there is a video out there. If for example you guys do want to see it, just let me know and I'll send it you privately, you know, through my social pages, because if I posted it on my YouTube a while back but the video got reported, so I'll leave some photos up of the aftermath anyway. But if you guys do want to see the video, just drop me a message and I'll show you, you know, for those interested in purchasing her. Now this isn't just a one-time thing with Gujji and the wolf. You know the blood that she's from the Bam Bam blood. Now this blood has many dogs who have taken down wolves, you know, boars, etc., you know, to protect livestock. So this is like a common thing within this blood. This is one reason why I brought her over. I was like, she's good. Overall she's got a very good, intelligent character, and she's killed a wolf, and she's got a wolf killing bloodline. I thought possibly when the time comes I'll probably breed her to maybe Talas, maybe Destin, I don't know. But yeah, she's very small and compact. So when people see her, they realise she's not as big as what you'd expect. She's big. She's still a large dog, but she's on the small end. She's around about 72, 73 centimeters, which I believe is the ideal weight, and I mean ideal size for a Kangal. She's very nimble, and she has just as good movement as Sultana. And she's obviously slightly younger than Sultana. Obviously, she's around 2 years old. She has had one litter, to be fair, in the UK, and that's all. But like I said, if I was keeping them, I'll possibly breed her to maybe Gujji. I mean not Gujji, even maybe Destin or Talas. So, and I think they'll produce excellent pups. So for anyone that is interested, that's a good suggestion. If you do buy Gujji, maybe possibly think about buying one of the males as well, because you know you'll have arguably the best pair out there. So yeah, these are the dogs that are available for you all. Now, my personal opinion, if you are buying a dog from me, it's best to buy a pair. If you are looking to possibly breed or represent the dog, then the pair option is probably the best choice. To be fair, if you do get the pair, because they already know each other, these dogs, if you want them to get raised on a farm, for example, you know, because they know each other, they can work well together, you know. But if you are looking to purchase just one, this is also fine as well. So it's just whatever you guys have in mind, or whatever you want. Just drop me a message on my socials or email or whatever, and I hope we can come to some sort of deal. You know, I ship worldwide as well, anywhere. Obviously it depends. If you're, you know, if it's a dog that's going into Europe, it's obviously going to be a lot cheaper than if a dog's going over to India. So just keep that in mind. The shipment price does vary depending on where you are. I'm based in the UK, so just take that as you know, as the central hub, and then work around it. So yeah, I hope you liked the video. Slightly different. inshallah we can get these dogs sold. Inshallah they can be at their new homes, and then inshallah over the foreseeable future, when the time comes, maybe I'll start buying dogs again and representing the breed correctly. But for now, you know, I want them at good homes. So yeah, make sure to like, make sure to comment and share this video. I would like you guys to share it as well, to be fair. You know, obviously I want these dogs sold as quick as possible, to be fair. It's just better for them. So yeah, everyone take care. Allah Hafiz.